Today I'm going to talk about how to transcend fear, or at least 3 ways that kind of work. So the first one is the most practical, the easiest one to put in your bag, and I call this one walking with fear. So basically, you take what you're afraid of and you say, okay, what if that happened? Then what? Then what? Then what? And basically, you walk to the end of it until you realize that no matter what disaster, no matter how much your circumstances have been shaken up, no matter what, you're still good. I figured if you wanted to read the recaps, you could press pause. Because when I extended them, it was just too much. Love you, bye. The second one would be, this is what happens when I have something to say before I have to say it. It like escapes. It's like, okay, well, I'm not on deck, so I'm going to go have a coffee and then I'll be back when you need me. But then they're never back on time. The second one would be, oh yeah, ask the fear why it's there. Sometimes we have fear because it gives us something. For example, let's say you're afraid of something. Then, in the context of other people, you can be like, oh my God, I'm so afraid. And they'll be like, it's okay, honey. And so you're getting something from having that fear, so it reinforces why you need to keep it. The third one is the belief ladder. Let me get my pen. And at this point, I'm not sure what I've made up or what I've read, but when I was coaching people, this came up to me. My handwriting is so cool. All right, at the bottom you have action, and then above that, emotion, and above that, thought, and above that, belief. And the way it kind of works is anything that happens up here flows down to here. So at action, this is where a lot of people try to make changes. They're like, okay, well, I want to lose weight. And so they address the actions that they think would lead to losing weight. However, unless you address things above the ladder, higher up on the ladder, this will always snap back to where it was. Kind of like if this whole ladder swung to the side, this could be higher, but eventually it'll just come back, probably after going really far the other way. So the reason emo is above action in this ladder, eventually I would flip it depending on your spiritual development. But the reason I have it right here is because your action will depend on what state you're in emotionally. So let's say you're like real jazzed up and you're excited. The action that you take will be different than if you're in a low state, like sad or depressed. Tony Robbins does a great job talking about this stuff. The next one above it, I have thought. So your feelings are a result of your focus. What you focus on is what you feel. If you have this whole spectrum of things, and some of them you've assigned meaning to that makes you feel good, and you focus on the things, let's say like it's a thought, you could have a day of activity, and one activity was like not really fun. And if you focus on that activity, then it'll affect your mood, which will affect your actions. But if you focus on the other things, or you think about things that went well, as you term them, then you'll be in a good state and your action will change. Or let's say something happens externally and you think about it a certain way, then you feel about it a certain way and you'll respond in a certain way. I get so excited and I get right up on the camera. One day I hope to have my own studio. I will. All right, the last one is belief, and this would be the third way. So basically, belief is the water you swim in. You probably don't even realize what these are. And they could be things like causal chains. If I do this, then this will happen. And that's a belief. If I invest time in this activity, I will get this result. It could be about limits. It could be about the meaning of life. For example, if you believe that everything is happening for your greater good and that there's nothing to be afraid of, then everything below it will change. This is the hardest one to get to, but it affects everything else. So usually if you believe you are worthy and golden, then you think about things differently and you feel differently, and all your actions are worthy and golden. I hope that was helpful.